I will start with a prayer of a Gita Dhyana Sloka and also a prayer from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which most people are already familiar with. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandanaha partho vatsah sudhir bhokta dugdham gitamrutam mahat. So the Upanishads are the cows whose milk is the supreme nectar of Gita. The milker is the young cow herd, Krishna. Partha, the son of Pritha, Arjuna, is the calf. And persons of purified intellect consume this. Om asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, keep me not in unreality, but make me go towards reality. Keep me not in darkness, but make me go towards the light of spiritual knowledge. Keep me not in mortality, but make me go towards the world of immortality. So let me give an overview of how I had planned this presentation. So as 4 items that I had. This is obviously like a very, very deep and extensive topic, which is impossible to really address. So at least in one sitting. So I've just taken some points which I thought we can and adapted them for this presentation. So today I'll be talking about Sanatana Dharma, the actual name of Hinduism, is a bedrock foundation for a values-driven life. It bestows on us the complete knowledge and a complex set of tools, techniques, mindsets, and framework that are appropriate for every one of us to avail in this journey of life. Whether in our professional realm or in the personal relationships or in the realm of our inner growth, we can follow its directives and be the better for it. Also wanted to talk about scriptures. Often there are terminology around our scriptures which make it hard to, which are not clear, they can be confusing. The scriptures are the Vijnana Sampada, the intellectual wealth of our country, our Bharat and our culture. We shall take a look around the classification of the scriptures just so to provide some clarity. We'll look at the concept of yajna and its symbolism and its significance in modern life, and how we can think of yajna as a mindset in all that we do, in everything that we do. It's not diverse from modern life. So want to highlight that. Ashtanga Yoga. There have been previous excellent introductions to yoga, and I think by Jyotsna and Harris. So that was a beautiful introduction and a beautiful overview. Today, if time permits, some more on Ashtanga Yoga, but that is already a very elaborate topic that might require additional time. So we'll see how much time is available. All right, we can start with the etymology of Sanatana Dharma. The two words Sanatana Dharma come from ancient Sanskrit language. Sanatana means that which doesn't have any beginning, that doesn't have any end, and does not cease to be. So in other words, that which is eternal and everlasting. Dharma is a word from the root verb dhri, meaning to hold together or to sustain. Its approximate meaning is natural law, or those principles which are inherent in the very nature and design of the universe. Thus, the term Sanatana Dharma can be roughly translated to mean the natural, ancient, and eternal way. There's actually a lot more to come on Dharma, so we'll talk about that. So when translated to English, Sanatana can refer to eternal, perennial, never beginning nor ending, abiding, universal, ever present, unceasing, natural, and enduring. While dharma refers to harmony, the way, righteousness, compassion, natural law, truth, teachings, tradition, philosophy, order, universal, flow, religion, wisdom, divine conformity, cosmic norm, blueprint, inherent nature, law of being, and beauty. So suffice it to say that these are words which are very loaded with meaning. They're not very easily translatable to a single word. So this is the etymology. And if we reflect on it, we know that righteousness is not easily defined. It changes with time. It is complex. It is complicated. The bottom line is, for Hindus, the Vedas are the authority on dharma. So what we are told is that the Vedas, which we will come to the introduction during when we reach the topic of scriptures, more on Vedas, but we know that they are the pramana. They're called as the pramana, or the authority. So Sanatana Dharma is a code of conduct, ethics, and value system with spiritual diversity at its core. So before Sanatana Dharma speaks to a cosmic order, societal order, as well as a very personal, innermost individual order. Hence, a few things to note about this value system. It consists of rituals, which are called karma kanda, and also philosophy, which is jnana kanda, which is a mindset that we have to adapt, called the jnana kanda, which is knowledge, a lot of deep knowledge. It is applicable to the macrocosm of the universe as well as individual, called the microcosm. So since it's impossible to encapsulate the entire basis of Sanatana Dharma, I plan to enumerate some points for today's purpose as best as I can. So as we know, Hindu and Hinduism are a more recent word which actually refers to Sanatana Dharma. So let's go back to what does Sanatana Dharma mean for us. It is an ancient culture and a socio-spiritual and religious tradition for almost 1 billion of the Earth's inhabitants. It represents more than a religion. It attempts to provide a world view, a way of life. So as we said, it's a code of conduct. It's a value system with spiritual diversity at its core. It's a timeless quest for cosmic truth. So just as we know that in the sciences, physical truth is what they pursue, right? Trying to find the truth behind physical phenomena. Similarly, it is a quest for cosmic truth. There is no founder. There is no one single founder for Sanatana Dharma. It's apaurusheya. It comes from the word purush, and apaurusheya meaning lack of a human founder. The most ancient reference we have for Sanatana Dharma is the Rig Veda, which is a record of ancient sages. All of nature, living and non-living things, are part of the same cosmic equation in a universe pervaded by the higher consciousness principle. So what we call as God is also called as Brahman, is also called as higher consciousness principle. So in Sanatana Dharma, there are spiritual laws that govern human existence. This also declares that the universe itself is a manifestation of the divine being. And we see that in Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 10, there is a reference to Virat Purush, which is the manifestation as a divine being. These laws are such that they are considered to be like axiomatic. So they are beyond alteration, beyond debate. Just like the law of gravity, say in physics, it's not something to be debated, but it's just there. It's a law. That is how we see these laws from the Sanatana Dharma base. Sanatana Dharma provides reverence for the individual spiritual experience as compared to formal doctrine. So these are some of the points that we can keep in mind. Ancient rishis provided a lot of the continuity that we have from the time of the Vedas to what we have now. So before moving on from the topic, from this, I would like to say that Sanatana Dharma makes use of yoga, and we are going to talk about that a little later. So, but for now, Sanatana Dharma informs us that we are a divine being having a human experience in an unending sequence of births, unending theoretically. So nothing happens randomly according to this philosophy, but every event is a consequence of some cause that occurred earlier. Every action produces some kind of a ripple effect and generates a reaction at some other point in time. And that might be what we are going through when we go through an experience. And the other point is everything that we go through is an experience, and we'll see more about that also. The law of karma says that we must be good and do good so that good things will happen. So that's how we have to interpret the law of karma, not as a defeatistic, not as a destiny. So the law of karma means that today what we are going through might be the effect of something that happened in the past, but it also gives us incentive to do good now, to do dharma now, so that good things can happen from those actions. So some salient classifications to help us understand how Sanatana Dharma is asking us to see ourselves. So first thing, as humans, the first thing that we see is that we are different from all other living forms or life forms because of a certain faculty we have to be able to view ourselves, to be able to analyze our own thoughts, to do self-inquiry, to look at ourselves, to almost stand apart from ourselves and look at ourselves, right? This ability is something that we have to hold on to and make use of, is what our Sanatana Dharma is telling us. The divine thread in us is Atman, or pure consciousness. We talked about that higher consciousness principle, that we can consider that to be a thread running in all of us, which enlivens us, right? It is the substratum upon which the universe and creation is situated, and it is the sentiency that enlivens inert matter, just as electricity lights up the electric bulb. So if we go back to this Kenopanishad shloka, it says, by whom desired and directed does the mind flow towards its subjects? By whom desired and engaged does the vital life force proceed to its functions? By whom desired do people utter this speech? Which divine entity directs the eye and the ear? That speaks to this point about this sentiency that enlivens us, and that we should focus on in order to understand what Sanatana Dharma is telling us. I mean, that's the whole study that we go through. I've enumerated a few points. Normally, these are not points that you can just talk about so easily, but I'm assuming that for the purpose of this discussion, it's okay to do that. I'm sure many who are listening right now are more knowledgeable in these subjects than I am. So thank you for bearing with me. So one of the things that we learn is humans have 4 aspects to their personality. We all know this, but it's formally also given to us here: body, mind, intellect, and we talk about our spirit. We always say my mind, my hand, my body. So we know that what is owning this body is not the real me. There is something else that's owning this body, right? So that is the spirit. So body, mind, intellect, and Atman is how we look at the four aspects: the physical aspect, mental aspect, intellectual, and then the spirit. Atman, or consciousness, enlivens the BMI. We refer to BMI as body, mind, intellect. Vasanas, the indelible imprints of prior lifetimes, prompt us to act. They're almost like some imprints that have been placed on this soul that become who we are. Vasanas lead to desires, which lead to our thoughts, which express as our actions. Humans have four inner equipment: manas, mind; buddhi, intelligence; chitta, memory; ahankara. Ahankara is what we call as ego. It's the feeling of I and mine. And all of these, the reason for bringing up all these enumerations is for discussions that will follow, and these interact together to give us our personality. The human life spans four phases, or ashramas. Brahmacharya is where the student phase, grihastha is the householder phase, vanaprastha is the retired person's life, and sannyasa is a renunciate. So according to these ashramas, there is a breakdown of how our duties might look. And this becomes very important. Humans tend to follow four pursuits: dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So dharma is the need to do good, to be righteous. Artha is materialistic comfort and security that comes from finance and all of that. Kama is just desire, the desire to have something, or whether it's the people or whether it's certain objects. Kama is the desire to have, to own, or enjoy, or experience certain things. Moksha is the really unusual goal that only maybe a smaller percentage of people actually go for, which is considered